So, so the takeaways, you say focus on
Yeah.
the big picture every day. And
Yep.
problems often have more than one solution, and you've got to work to define the problem. I love that so much, because how are we going to know what the solution is unless we actually define what the problem is, right?
Yes.
I
So
love that so
often
much.
we want to get working on the problem. We want to move, but we haven't actually identified the whole problem yet.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
that is the thing. So we're not just outing fires all over the place. We have
Exactly.
to basically like know what the problem is that we need to focus
Yeah.
on and deal with that. I love that. I love
100%.
that. Let's see. Okay, you answered that one. Julie, it's been an hour. How much time do you have left? So I
I
can
have a
just
few more minutes.
few more. Who?
Yeah.
Few more minutes?
I
Oh
don't have
my
any
God,
more
you're such a
questions.
pro.
All
Okay,
right,
hold on.
let's
Let me
go.
skip this. Let me
This is
skip
like a
that.
rapid fire.
All right, let's
do
do a rapid fire. Let's
Here we
rapid
go.
fire. Okay, let's go to learn to be the leader of a culture that works for you. I love this so much.
Yeah.
Leadership as tone setting. In chapter 5, you wrote, as the founder, you need to make sure your leadership sets the tone you want for your business. The
Mhm.
culture, after all, which is true, Julie, flows from the top down.
Mhm.
That struck me because many people underestimate how
Mm.
much of a company's energy comes from its leaders.
Yes.
When did you, Julie, first realize that leadership isn't just about managing tasks? It's about setting the emotional and cultural temperature of the entire organization.
Yeah, I think we realized that pretty early at Mabel's Labels. And
Yeah.
also like realizing that although none of us started that business to have 40 people report to us,
Mhm.
which is what we had when we sold it. So like that requires a leadership journey, right? So we, as the owners, managers, leaders of that business, had our own leadership journey to go on. We needed to grow as leaders.
Mhm.
The other place we needed to grow was in our sort of strategic and operational prowess of
Mhm.
running a bigger and bigger business. And,
Mhm.
sometimes you get caught in things like, nobody ever, I don't think any of us in school ever were taught this is how you do delegation. When you have employees, this is how you're going to delegate tasks, and this is how you're going to do it well. And
Right.
so we all have that where like you give somebody a job and you're like, no one can do it better than me. You end up feeling so disappointed with how that person completed the work.
Right.
And instead of actually looking at whether you did a good job of explaining the work, checking in on how the work was going, making sure it was what you needed, all of those things, instead of thinking about how you could change your process, you instead decide to sort of micromanage them.
Right. Right.
Right.
Right.
And that is never going to lead to the kind of culture that people want to work in.
Right.
Right.
Exactly right.
And
Exactly right.
so it's about like these two pieces that have to come together in order, there's a leadership piece on your own part. And then there's this piece of, how do you build this kind of culture that people actually want to come and work in? Because especially when we have small businesses,
Mhm.
we don't have the luxury of paying the top salaries out there.
You're right.
And so there have to be other reasons that people want to come
Want to
and
stay.
work with us.